In a world of over 8 billion people, where no life is without challenges, some individuals have not only faced adversity but have risen above it with strength and grace.
Welcome to Rise and Reflect, a YouTube series dedicated to showcasing the stories of resilient individuals who have turned their struggles into triumphs. Through their stories, we hope to ignite a spark within you.
As Nelson Mandela once said, "Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again." This series embodies that spirit.
Join us as we explore the lives of these resilient soldiers, whose paths may not have been smooth, but who have walked them with purpose and determination.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Rise and Reflect, and we're here with the Daniel Jarrett.
The Daniel Jarrett.
So we're just going to relax and have a conversation. Let us start with who is Daniel? What do you do?
Oh, that sounds like an interview question, you know?
Yes.
But who is Daniel? I am a very enthusiastic person who enjoys just engaging in conversations in order to build on my education and the knowledge that I already have, you know. I'm in project management, which I fell in love with in 2020, but career-wise, I would consider myself a journalist who, as I said, enjoys communication. I specialize in sports journalism, and I also dabble in a little bit of entertainment as well, because I really find that interesting. You know, it's the more ebullient side. Yeah, it's the more ebullient side of journalism. So I really and truly enjoy it. But if I should use a word to describe myself, it would be holistic, because I don't really stick to one thing. Sometimes you will see me in entertainment, sometimes you would see me in sports, you would hear me making jokes and all of those stuff. So I'm a holistic individual.
Okay, so I have the questions here for Daniel and we'll go through them.
Yeah.
So can you share a bit about your journey from Mona High to where you are now in project management and communications?
Yes, of course. So I started Mona High School. I went up by the years. So I started Mona in 2007. And I remember the first day walking through the gates of Mona High School, you know, a lot of expectations from the persons around me and the people in my community as well. Walked through the gates, went into class. The first thing the teacher said, "Introduce yourself." My gosh. And I'm reminded, big up Jail, big up yourself. I'm going to send this video to Jail. Yes.
Alright.
He always reminds me of the day that I stood up and the teacher asked me to introduce myself and what I want to become in the future. And I stood up and said that my name is Daniel Jarrett, and in the future I want to be a journalist.
Oh my God.
Yes, I said that from grade 7. I know, right? Yeah, from grade 7 I said that. But the journey, the long and short of the journey itself, started in grade 7. I wasn't really as academic. I wasn't big on academics in grade 7. Grade 7 was all about just enjoying the experience of high school and just making friends, one of whom I am still friends with, Ozien Campbell. Big up yourself, Ozien. But as I matriculated, I started to, get in the groove of going into grade 8, performing extremely well, and then moving on to grade 9. Throughout all this journey as well, I engaged in a few extracurricular activities. I did football, I did hockey at one point, and in grade 9 I got selected for Mona High School's quiz team.
That's a big deal.
Actually, it's a big jump from sports to now school's challenge quiz.
Yeah, because that's academics.
Yes, to from sports to academics. So I was like, wow, this is a huge transition, and they must have seen something in me to actually select me to be a part of the quiz team.
I think it's a discipline though.
Yeah, I think that was it. And also my competitiveness. Because in grade 8, I used to have a friend that I used to compete with to top the class, Yeah. I used to compete with him like true
That's
and
healthy
true.
competition, I like that.
Yeah, man. And I think I was second that in the final, in the last exam in grade 8, I was second to him in the class. And I went in grade 9, got selected for school challenge quiz. I did not know that I was going to actually make the team, you know, because I didn't really have much confidence in myself at that point. I have some very bright people as friends. So I was like, whoa, these persons are going to make the team. I'm not going to be a part.
You know, Daniel is a very humble person.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, I don't know if you remember the time when we went downtown and we took a bus to Mandeville. You don't remember we got the tax office?
Yes!
I
I was in Mandeville, yes.
Yes, we took the bus to Mandeville
Yes.
from downtown and we came back to
Yes.
Kingston.
Wow, you're actually reminding me of that. Wow, that was
Only a humble friends will take bus with you guys.
Trust me, go we are Mandeville enough people.
And early in the morning too, because we are trying to catch the tax office.
Yeah, man. I remember clear now that you mentioned it. I was like, wow, that's a story. Yes.
So, what were some of the challenges you faced growing up?
Challenges. I would say, thinking about challenges, but it's mostly about limitations as it relates to having to do what I want, right? I really wanted to play football, but after being a part of the football team, going home late and all of those stuff was pretty challenging for me due to the fact that where I live, Trenchtown.
Yeah. And I don't think Daniel speaks enough about where he's from, because where this young man is from, and he'll tell you more about that, you know, and where he is today, I think
it's really
it's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, man.
And it's something that will inspire quite a lot of people who would have come from similar communities.
Similar backgrounds as well. Yeah,
Yeah, so he's from Trenchtown.
Yeah, and being in Trenchtown,
And not on the prettiest streets in Trenchtown.
Yeah, man. Being from that community, you know, like the violence, so you don't want to reach home too late.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a
so
safety concern.
yeah, so I had to stop playing football. That was when I got to be a part of the quiz team. I was still going home late, but with the quiz team, you know, we're going home late, but we're camping. So we get to stay over at school and all of those stuff. Then the Mona did start to mature, well, not mature, but improve in terms of the facilities and all of that. So we could camp out and all and all those stuff. So yeah, that was one challenge. I also had a challenge. Can I mention the challenge with a specific subject? Mathematics.
Yes.
Mathematics. Oh my God.
A lot of people struggle with maths.
Wow, mathematics was a huge hill that I had to climb, but guys, I got over the hurdle. I got a 3 in mathematics. Still a pass. Saying. But I must confess, I really improved. Like, I don't really, I don't look at the grade that I got as something minimal, right? Because of where I was coming from. I used in grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, I was getting cash pack grades in maths. Cash pack grades. And I was like, no man, something is wrong with me. You know, I cannot do this. And then I started to improve gradually. Every single subject was excellent, great. But mathematics was my weakness. And I put my shoulder to the wheel and I got through in grade 11, in fifth form. And also, today I actually tutor maths as a you know, as a big man. Yeah, boy, if you did ask me 5 years ago, not 5 years ago, like 15 years ago or so, if I would be tutor in mathematics, I would be like, nah, bro. But here I am. That's another hurdle that I had to climb or I had to get over. But yeah, those are the two major challenges that I would have encountered during my journey through life itself.
So big up to the Courtyard Marriott for hosting us. I see that they just dim the lights, so that means we're supposed to be entering into the to deeper questions, the more intimate questions. So we're going to kick it off by asking Daniel, when are you looking to start a family and what factors do you take into consideration?
When am I looking to start a family? I want to have certain things in place. One of the things I'm a very humble individual, and my outlook is kind of different from everyone else's, because I don't think that there's a particular time per se that I should really be like, oh, that is the specific time that I want to start a family. There are goals and aspirations that I want to achieve before I start a family, right? And so if I should use the term time, I would say it is when it is that I achieve those goals and aspirations. So yeah, that's when I look forward to starting a family. What was the second part of the question?
What factors do you take into consideration
when starting a family? Of course, the financial aspect of it. Also, the person who I choose to start a family with is very important as well. And marriage is also something that I intend to do before starting a family, right? So those are three factors, but for sure, the person, right? My mental health and how the relationship goes over time, to see if it is that this person actually, or both of us rather, actually are ready, to have someone else be a part. Of
because in a relationship you have to over time develop healthy habits, because there'll always be conflict, right? But you have to know how to work through those conflicts in a healthy way and not lash out or bark after the person. People barking after people, Daniel.
Trust me.
So, you don't want to be in a relationship that's crazy and toxic like that, and to bring a child into something
that
like
that. It's really unhealthy. And also being from the environment that I am from, I've seen, and this is no fault to them, right? But I've seen persons who, they get out sometimes and then get upset sometimes, and we all do stuff wrong, in the wrong way and the wrong manner, right? And these are mistakes that I would learn from, and things that I would say, I see my dad did this, or my mom did this, or my neighbor did this, and this is something that I want to put or instill in my children, or this is something that I don't want to happen, So I've seen it all, and so as it relates to starting a family, these are also some things that I would take into consideration as well.
Okay, so what are your future aspirations and how do you plan to continue growing?
Oh, real estate for sure. I've always emphasized, and this is something that is near and dear to my heart, owning a home, and also not just owning a home, but having investment properties, properties that are apartments that I can say, all right, I'm going to make some money from this, I'm going to do an Airbnb, I'm going to do this and that. So this is at the pinnacle of what I want to achieve. But separate and apart from that, I want to grow, right? One of the things I pride myself on is going to the next level.
Yes.
I like to be, I like to improve. And I want to also say this because a lot of persons view improvement as making more money. There, there are a lot of different aspects of your lives that you can improve on, right? Improve your education. So you have a bachelor's, you go and get a master's. You have a master's, you go and get a doctorate, right? In terms of spiritual, the spiritual aspect as well. If you believe in a one supreme being, you probably want to improve praying, like pray more.
Yeah,
You know?
read your Bible more, connect
Yes.
more with God.
Eating healthy, your health, right? I have
No
a
one
friend.
exercise, no one start with gym. Like,
Yes.
Daniel.
I have a friend actually. She does not eat meat at all, right? She cut out drinking. She basically is living a very healthy lifestyle, you know. And she does it in stages, and I really admire the way how she lives in terms of taking care of her health, right? And that is something, that is a place, sorry, that I want to be
And I love the
eventually.
fact that she takes it in stages, because I think anything at all that
Yeah.
you want to do in life, any kind of changes you want to apply to your life, it's something that you have to take in stages.
Yeah.
Right? No matter things said tomorrow you're gonna wake up a vegan, like it don't happen like that. It's not going to be easy to cut out meat, but if you reduce the portion
Yeah.
sizes every day and start incorporating more vegetables and fruits into your vegetable, and you start to replace the bacon with lettuce or something else
Yeah.
in your sandwiches with the egg, and then you start to find other kind of replacements. Everything is much easier when you take it in steps.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. So those are basically the different steps that I intend on taking in my life or changes. Was it?
Yes.
To me.
All right. So, what lessons from your humble beginnings have helped you in your professional life?
Compartmentalization. I didn't know. I didn't know the word to apply to the action itself, but from a very tender age I learned about compartmentalization in terms of executing different tasks. My parents, they have a shop, a retail business in Trenchtown. So on a Saturday, I would dedicate my time to helping out in the business, and also on a Sunday weekend. So I was like, all right, I do this in the morning and I play in the evening. We have school, and I was also a part of different extracurricular activities, as I mentioned earlier. So I had to find time as it relates to preparing for schools challenge quiz competitions. I have to find time to prepare for my CXCs and the different examinations. So that is one thing that I would have learned during my time. Another thing that I learned is the importance of good company, right? I have friends.
Your network determines your net worth.
Yes, guys, trust me. And I see a lot of persons saying, "Oh, I'm me alone. I'm me alone. I gotta stay here, so and I don't want nobody around me. I'm alone." Listen, you see, great friends are indeed better than pocket money. I have a group of friends that I've been with for probably over 12 years. Met them in grade 7, and up to today we're still friends. I was just before the show, I was talking to Lenika about them, and they've been such a tower of strength for me in terms of encouragement, in terms of advice, and basically how they live their lives being examples for me as an individual. So the value of friendship was something that I learned from an early age, which allowed for my life to be transformed, right? And also the importance of education. And when I say education, I want persons to think broad, think with an open mind, because I'm not only speaking about academic education, I'm talking about education outside the realm of academics, right? I'm talking about knowing your surroundings. I'm talking about reading the room in various spaces, right? And
take notes, people. Like this is
yes,
the beauty.
having different conversations, networking, that which we spoke of earlier on, right? These are very important aspects of life that can propel you forward. And these have worked for me over the years, and I really and truly give thanks to those who have surrounded me and taught me these different aspects of life, which has made me into who I am today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well said, well spoken.
Sure.
So, if you had $1 billion, $1 billion USD, how would you invest it?
$1 billion US. You know, I saw that question. I was like, wow. $1 billion US. For sure, I would be buying investment properties. I would be buying properties. I would be, doing other investments, right? And for sure, utilizing some of the money to enjoy myself and ensure that my family is okay. Educating myself, that's an investment. Educating myself, finishing up my master's, and probably going on to doing a doctorate. Maybe not.
No, man, do the doctorate. Do the doctorate, I'm telling you. Because
yes,
education is one of the...
PhD.
It's like a vehicle for upward social mobility, right? So when Dr. Daniel Jarrett walks into a room, people just put respect on that, whether they know Daniel from Adams or Zimbabwe, wherever. But people, these are things, and we need to talk about these things. You know, unfortunately, that's how the world is. That's how it works.
I'm glad you said unfortunately.
Yeah, you have to know how the thing works, and it's either you have to play the game or get played by the game.
Len, you know, there's something that I kind of don't like about me. I am a very rebellious individual, right? The reason why I say that I'm rebellious is I revel in moments where people think that I don't know. I would sit, very unassuming individual, you know, I would know exactly what is happening.
You have to give an example with that, so people can relate.
Yeah, different for example, conversations, right? Persons who engage in different conversations, and I'm around the conversation, and maybe I get deliberately excluded from the conversation because of the assumption. Yes, because of the assumption that I don't know. But I get that a lot, you know, because I'm a very laid back person. As much as I'm outspoken in these contexts, I am rather laid back in terms of engaging with the persons who are maybe at a certain point in their lives.
And when you bring that up, I remember a conversation that we had on the bus coming back to Kingston from Mandeville, and you were saying, you know, the space that in Jamaica we have this thing called youth leadership, and I remember in that era, you know, youth leadership was this big glamorous thing, and it was just this elite part of society that, you know, only some people were allowed to call themselves a leader. And you were saying that some of those people were laughing at you and saying how, you know, you don't speak well and all of that.
Point in my life.
And honestly, I think that was when I realized that, you know, I don't want to be considered you as a leader.
Yes.
You get me? I don't want to be in that circle because you have to understand that people grow. Nobody is born with the ability to stand up at a podium and be able to deliver a speech. Yes. I've had moments in my life where I've stood up in front of people and not know what to say. I've messed up the pronunciation of words, right? Nobody is born ready. You have to give people grace and allow them the time to develop. Don't exclude them out of a circle where they can benefit from in terms of growth.
Yeah.
Right? So they took the wrong approach.
Honestly,
but it might have motivated you nonetheless.
Trust me. You see, today, even though I'm still like that, I'm still that stand-up individual, I know that at some point, and even then, I knew that I would find myself in spaces that they're in spaces that these people are. Recently, at this age, I got called to be a youth leader for a specific organization, you know, I would call it that. I turned down the offer because I just believe that I want to have my own space and not have to be governed by the policies or the rules and regulations that are applied to this organization. So I was like, you know, I really appreciate the thought. However, I really want to just do it myself.
And what would be your advice to other young people who have gone through a similar experience where their peers exclude them from things because they're saying, you know, you don't have the skill sets that we have, or you are not from the same area that we are from, and they just exclude them, and, you know, they are now, I would say, confused and questioning themselves, you know, like, what would be your advice to that person? And I can imagine quite a lot of people go through that because it's so easy for us to create an elite group, you understand? And there are people who want to be a part of it, and
don't do it because of them. Do it because of you. Do it because of what you want to achieve, right? And that's the advice that I would give. During my time, during the time that I felt, I don't know if that was the case, but that's how I felt, right? During the time that I felt that way, I was like, you know what? I am doing it because I genuinely wanted to improve. I remember I even joined Toastmasters because I really wanted to improve.
When you join Toastmasters, you know it's serious. Yeah, that's where you learn how to talk well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Articulation on point, enunciation on point.
And I met some great speakers.
Yeah.
I met Azan. I forgot his name, you know. Jeffrey.
Oh, yes, Jeffrey Azan.
Yeah, I met Jeffrey Azan.
Jeffrey Azan is my financial advisor's husband, so big up yourself, Jeffrey Azan.
Yeah, man.
From Nika's friend.
Oh. Yeah, man. I met Jeffrey Azan, and I really, even though I didn't really speak to him as much, I watched his work and I listened to his work, and I was like, you know, this brother is really an outstanding individual, and the mere fact that he stuck to what he loved, right? He was so passionate about public speaking, and I heard his story about investing everything into public speaking, and how he just basked in everything. it was just really impressive.
And I really want for the listeners to understand that there are opportunities out there for you to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
For you to
No matter what it is.
Yeah. And
what
you say
type of
Daniel, he
investment.
wanted to speak better and he joined Toastmasters. You know, these are I'd say, you know, what you call it, like tools and resources that are out there to kind of help you to own the skills that you want to further develop. Whether it is for your advancement or you know your professional development, whatever it is, there are courses that you can do, online courses. If you join LinkedIn, which is a nice professional space, they have a free learning community that you can learn conflict management, communication skills, all of those, how to write proposals, how to write letters, how to write even emails, because sometimes you can differentiate yourself as a candidate applying for a job by how you word your email, right?
Yes.
So,
I'm glad you mentioned courses, because I remember in COVID, for a tad bit part of COVID, I wasn't employed, and I was, you know, on the internet just looking, and I saw that Harvard was offering different courses.
the Harvard University.
Yes, free of cost, and I did a course at Harvard. So
Harvard graduate was number
listen, yeah man, I did a course in leadership, and it was such a eye-opening experience. And you know, like in your spare time, build yourself, and that's also another advice. Build on your strengths and ensure that you become as qualified as possible. And find yourself also in spaces that you need to be. Right? That's another thing. That's probably the main reason why I'm surviving in the sports realm right now. I did media for a year, and I made so many connections that I can now take up the phone, make a call, and request for accreditation to go into different track and field meets, go into different football matches, and provide coverage, get interviews from different individuals, so that the product that I have offering can be better quality.
Yes.
For the audience that I serve. Yeah.
I think that's so important too. The fact that, you know, it's good for us to gain the experience that we need to build our capacities.
Yeah.
But what he said in terms of, you know, Daniel saying that he has been intentional about finding himself in spaces that he needs to be in. I think a lot of us sit down and wait for the invitation.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't make that mistake. Find yourself in the space. You need to be more aware too, because sometimes the events are keep and you're not even aware, and it is right up your alley. It's literally the area that you're studying, the field that you want to be in. You want to be successful in this field, and the event is happening right now, and you are not aware because you were not on the list and you did not go out to seek the information that you need to seek, know the people that you need to know to make it happen.
And that's exactly what you need to do. I mean, getting educated, being academically educated, and you know, knowing the streets is one thing, but you making deliberate steps to go out and know people is another.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we tend to focus on one and reject the other.
Yeah, your degree alone is just a piece of paper.
Yeah.
You have to now make some movements
Shoulder
to make
to the
this
wheel.
work for you.
Yes,
Right?
shoulder to the wheel.
Yes. So on that note, we thank you so much for tuning in to Rise and Reflect with Daniel Jarrett.
Rise and reflect.
Thank you guys.